What's up, everybody? This is John with Nap Daddy Racing, back with our third track tutorial here at Concord Speedway, or you could call it Concord, depending on where you're from. I believe this track is in Charlotte, North Carolina, or right outside of Charlotte, so they say Concord there. That's what we're going to say. This track is a little unique in comparison to the other tracks that the Legend Series will visit, mainly because this is in the shape of a triangle, kind of like a smaller version of a Pocono. Every turn is going to be a little bit different and more unique. We're going to go ahead and show you the info here. The track temp has cooled off significantly since I recorded this. It was at 87 degrees when I was recording it. I'm using the new realistic settings based off of April 3rd. Mostly cloudy. I think I had it at moderate temperature, I believe is what I had it set to. So that will affect the track temp as well. But colder track, it's going to be faster time, so you might actually be able to come out here and bust out a lap faster than this at an 81 track degree or 81 degree temp compared to my 87 where I recorded this at. Also, as always, I just want to note that I have this driving line on here for these tutorials. When I race, I usually don't have them on because sometimes my line can move, and I don't want to be held down to one line or thinking that I need to be around one line. I want to drive at whatever's comfortable for me and my driving style. So I always say iRacing does a pretty good job at putting these lines here and where you should be at, but if you're really trying to pick up like an extra tenth even, or maybe more than that, uh, feel free to stray outside this and find what really works for you. All right, but with that said, let's get started. This is coming out of pit road. Coming around out of pits, you are going to be able to shift up to third gear. Whenever we get into this first turn, it's going to be a hot lap. We're going to try to get as close to this wall as possible without touching it. Don't take car damage, and shift down to second. There's a big debate here about if you should be switching gears during the race. I usually don't, unless I burn my tires and it's like the last 5 to 8 laps is when I would start shifting. For this track, personally, I do not shift. I get into third gear and I stay in third gear. I find it's much faster that way. Some people have more success shifting. I don't. I think third gear is the best way to go about this track. So, coming out of the pits, we're going to try to stay high here. I'm going to go shift down to second and then gas it right back out, trying to get a straightish line. It's not going to be straight because it's in the middle of a curve, but straight line, we want as much time to pick up speed and be as fast as we are when we cross the start finish here. All right, that's going to be your first turn. This one's kind of, in my opinion, the most tricky turn on this track. I'm going to back this up just a little bit here. Back it up just a little bit more. So my mark, I realize that I'm not good at giving marks for when to start letting off and brake and stuff like that. Is mainly because I have raced this track enough. I kind of do it more off feel, but I try to pay attention this time, and I notice my mark is right when this A pillar here starts to hit the edge of this wall coming in. That's just if your car is higher to the wall. And what I'm going to do is when I come around this corner is you can give a little brake, and I'm talking like 5 to 10% brake, but you can just kind of let off the gas. And this isn't the best way to go about this, but because track temperatures change and tires change, but when you're first starting out trying to learn this track, kind of keep an eye on your speed, and if you're going below 77-ish in this corner, you're going too slow. You need to fix your turn in somehow, maybe come in higher, maybe not cut the wheel as much coming in, maybe just give it more gas earlier coming through. So I'm going to kind of slow this down. I'm going to start letting off right when that A pillar hits, backing off a little bit, and I'm trying to get right to that yellow line. I kind of hit the apron a little bit, but I'm never really fully off the gas coming through there. And this driving line is a good guide here because I don't want to go too high over that, because if you go too high, first, you're going to wash out, hit somebody else. Two, you're losing time because you're covering more track, essentially, which is going to cost you time. But it's just going to also help you set up for this next corner here. So coming through, I don't really ever let off the gas completely, especially during qualifying. I might let off like a second, but I actually don't here. Coming through, back in the gas, I'm still in third gear, and I'm setting up for this next corner. The goal of this corner here is to try to get your left wheels at this line or even right below it. I mean, you can kind of touch it and it's not going to hurt you too much. I wouldn't cut it. I found that does hurt your time. But even if you just kind of hit your left wheels on this apron here, it's not going to hurt you that much. If you're any higher than that, you're going to lose time. Full throttle through here. And coming out, I like to aim for this AMCO, I believe that's what it says, AMCO BP sign. It's kind of where I want to start straightening up towards and trying to get my car straight between this sign and maybe this sign or that sign, really. Now, this last turn is going to be a little tricky. It's going to take some practice. I honestly think the first turn is harder to master than this turn here. This is where a lot of people shift down to second. Again, I don't. I stay in third this whole time. But the breaking point is right at this orange sign here. And yeah, the car might be in a different spot than it was a second ago. I had to cut the video because I had something happen to my recording system here. But I start getting off the gas and braking right at this orange sign here as I'm coming past it. And when I say getting off the gas, I'm not like letting off completely. I'm going about half on the throttle and then I'm going to start gradually braking and transitioning that. If you feel like you're coming completely off the gas and hard brake at one time, you're probably not driving it right. These cars are really here to help you learn how to do a smooth transition from like gas to brake, modulating the throttle around the corners. They're not going to slide on you as much as the other cars, but it is helping you save your tires and not come in these corners too hot. So slow it down. Right when I hit this orange sign, I give a little bit of brake, start coming off the gas. You see that smooth transition coming down, and I'm trying to dive low right at the apex and get right on top of this line. Now you can kind of see I let off almost completely. I find that if you do just for even like a split second, it helps rotate your car a little bit more to get around this corner. So I'm going to let off about right here. It's going to help the car rotate. And then I'm back in the gas again, and I'm aiming about for this yellow mark and this smudge here. I know they say don't use these marks on the wall for guides, but I believe this is always there for some reason. It's just part of the track. So that's kind of where I aim for, is right above this yellow line, coming out, trying to straighten the wheel up, and then ride it high all the way there, again, in third gear. And that's going to be the qualifying lap for Concord, going to net us at 18.078. This is going to be the race pace, and I'm recording the race pace like literally 3 minutes after I just recorded the qualifying, and the track temp's already dropped 2 more degrees from before. So if this track doesn't get cool enough, you can run some fast times here. But for the race pace, it's going to be about the same thing, same line. Obviously, we're going to back it down a little bit, take it easier. And the main thing to notice is the wheel tape. I don't really ever want it to go past this while I'm on the full throttle. And I really try to make it a point, especially on this backstretch coming out of turn 2 here, to really try to keep my wheel straight coming out, because you'll be able to hear your wheels sliding a lot in the corners of this track. So coming through, kind of the same thing, letting off, not all the way. I'm going to dive down low again here in this second turn, aiming for this AMCO sign here in BP. And the braking spot is about the same. I actually think I waited just a little bit longer on this lap. But when I'm coming through here, I'm trying to keep the wheel as straight as possible without being full throttle on the gas. I'm trying not to come in these corners too hard, so I'm digging my front right into the ground, which is going to burn that up as well. And this track's also a good track where you can really start learning how your brakes and also just letting off the gas a little bit will help the car rotate a little bit more as well coming into the corners. So same thing, coming in here, kind of aiming for this apex, driving out towards my smudge here and my little yellow mark, straighten up, and that's an 18.328 for a race pace, which is pretty good. If you can maintain that around the entire race, you will definitely finish at the top in pretty much all splits. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Concord Speedway. It's really fun track to drive. It can be pretty competitive at times. I'm not sure where the Legends cars are at next week, but I'll find out and have a video posted much earlier than this one. I've been super busy this week, but I'll let this play out and see you guys next week.